You know, my philosophy here on the channel has pretty much always been that you should avoid paying retail at all costs. There almost really isn't a need for it 99% of the time. Sure, you've got your oddball brands like Chanel and maybe a few others on the designer and niche side that you just really can't get discounted. But for the most part, the vast majority of things that you're going to be interested in, you can get for usually significantly below retail. You can save up to 50% off on a lot of things, which is pretty crazy, and there's really no reason why you shouldn't shop discounters. But what I have here is 12 designer fragrances that actually smell like they're worth double the price that they retail for, okay? Like, these smell incredible in their own way, very high quality, very unique for what they are, and they bring a lot to the table. And again, I'm making this clear that I'm not saying that you should go out and pay retail for these. I'm not saying that you should pay over retail for these. Please definitely don't do that. You can get all these for below retail at discounted prices, but they actually smell like they could go for significantly more. And if push came to shove, if these were going for the discounted rate of double the price, I would still probably pick a lot of them up because they're that good. So again, I will provide links to each and every one of these down below. Discounters, you know the drill. Community tab, deals going up there all day, every day. And if you want to start getting those deals to your email so you can maybe catch them easier, you can use the link down below and sign up to that. Let's start off with ROCHAS L'Homme. Blood orange, juniper berries, geranium, tonka bean-ish. Kind of a little bit of a sweetness in here. This is a very impressive scent for like $29, $30 on discounters for this standard size here, 100 ml bottle. And it really is going to be your more traditional approach on a men's scent, being that it's very aromatic heavy. I think it's kind of their take on getting into the blue fragrance category, but without going in the typical blue fragrance direction. Like, you're not getting bombarded with ambroxan here or aquatic notes or anything of the like that a lot of brands will kind of use to try to mask the blue fragrance thing. They're just kind of putting their own twist on this and ultimately making it a scent that's going to be very pleasing, especially for the more mature crowd out there. I mean, really, when you smell this one, it smells like it's a $60, $70 scent, discounted, in my opinion. And retail, it smells like it could be going for well over $100. And maybe it is, I don't know. But the fact is, you can get this one for $29, $30 on discounters, and it's worth way more than that. Okay, next up we have ZEGNA FORTE. So this one here has honey, tobacco, tonka bean, and amber. So a really, really nice sweet bomb. This is going to be very well suited for fall and moving into winter here in about another month or so. And it's really, really impressive because it does have that honey, tobacco, tonka mixture that is really classic. I mean, this is definitely not the first fragrance to do that. A lot of scents out there use that combination because it works. Very simple, right? But it really works well for the price point when this is only $35 for 100 ml on discounters, and it smells like it could be going for so much more. It really does have that dustiness and that powderiness, but then you get that syrupy sweet honey and red pipe tobacco. It is impressive. And one thing I will say, when you have cheapies like this, because it's in that cheapie category, and they're trying to experiment using a bunch of those heavier, sweeter notes, it doesn't always work out that well. They're just harder to do. That's why you see the vast majority of cheapies for men on the fresh and aquatic and citrus side. Vast majority, not all of them. When they start dabbling with stuff like this, they kind of fall apart. But this is one of the few cheapy men's scents that use those notes heavily that does a great job, and this smells like it could be going for a significantly higher price. Next up, we have Hugo Boss Bottled. This is going to be the newest parfum. So I do believe, if I'm not wrong, there was a parfum out before and then they discontinued it. I know there was with the scent line. It was in an all black bottle. They discontinued it and then brought out the Lay parfum. But I want to say there might have been one for this as well that they, again, maybe discontinued and brought back. Could be wrong. But this does have orange. It's got iris and leather, just to name off a couple of the notes. You know, for me, the iris immediately captures my attention, and that was one of the key factors that really drew me into this one when it was launched. And I think it really, really works well together with all the other notes and some of the Boss Bottle DNA in here to begin with, given that it is a flanker. Now, this one already made its way to discounters. 100 ml, $59, which is pretty solid, especially considering being that it's a parfum, the retail price is a bit higher than some others. Personally, I think this is very high quality. It really exudes a lot of class and sophistication, and I think it smells significantly more expensive than that. Next up, a really unique one with a cool bottle that is really, I don't know if it's even going to show up on camera. It's BLEU ASTRAL by Issey Miyake. It's NUIT BLEU ASTRAL, but you know, it doesn't really matter. Has lime, amberwood, and coriander, just to list a couple. And what I was talking about was it has the lines running across like this, similar to maybe Pulse in the Night, something like that. It doesn't show up on camera probably, but it's just a cool little detail that you can kind of just barely pick up on, which I think is cool. You might think it's a bunch of scratches running across your bottle, but I think that's intentional. This smells really unique. It's going to be on the fresher spectrum of things, so a little bit maybe out of place with this video considering we're kind of transitioning over to heavier fall-winter scents, but I wanted to toss this in because I think it's one of the few scents that you could kind of pull off in wintertime if you wanted, given that, yeah, it is fresh, but it has some depth to it as well. It has this texture to it, unlike a lot of other fragrances that would be kind of in this category. The lime really is well done here. It's got great quality from opening to dry down, and it's very affordable. To me, this almost smells like it could be just on the higher end of things, maybe even pushing up to niche level. Like, I really do think that it's just unique, something different, a breath of fresh air, and it smells much more expensive than what you can get it for. Moving right along, we have AFNAN TURATHI BLEU. I just recently did a review on this one, and basically just to give you the short of it, Bulgari Tiger meets a little bit of Bleu de Chanel. That's kind of how I look at it. Now, this one was hyped up primarily for being a Bleu de Chanel clone. I don't think it's a Bleu de Chanel clone. I do think it is a Bulgari Tiger clone, though, being that it does use a ton of grapefruit, a ton of amber, and you get this really delicious patchouli note in here as well, which smells amazing. But then it also does have a little bit of a slight smokiness, a little bit of a modern blue smell that you could maybe say that, yeah, it kind of stretches over to the Bleu de Chanel direction a little bit. I do think so, especially when you spray it off the top. It's vibrant, it's juicy, it's sexy, but it is very, very masculine and very luxurious and high-end. I mean, this DNA is impressive. This has a down-to-business, very serious smell about it. You can get this for like $46, and I do believe that, yeah, it's a 90 ml bottle, $46. Personally, I think this has the quality and the scent profile to go for a significantly higher price. It's very impressive, and I think just about all of you guys should check this one out if you want something unique, but very easy to wear and gets great compliments. Discontinued fragrance up next, at least it's kind of what everyone's been saying, and I think even the brand confirmed this one. I did do a video on it, but you can still get it everywhere though. It's 1 Million Lucky by PACO RABANNE. It doesn't surprise me. It shouldn't surprise you either when you look at what else they've discontinued. 1 Million Privé, which is by far their best piece of work that they've done in the 1 Million line. And I would go as far as to say one of their best releases on the designer men's side from the brand. I really do think it's great. Yeah, obviously, they're not putting out niche stuff. I don't know why I said designer. But on the men's fragrance side, 1 Million Privé, one of the best they've done. Discontinued it, right? It just wasn't doing big numbers for them in the real world. Us, the fragrance community, makes up a small portion of their net sales, and so it makes sense. But same thing here. I just don't think it is working that well. Now, this one is very unique, though, for what it offers. It's got plum and hazelnut, aldehydes, honey, so it's got this nutty kind of gourmand smell with this light, fresh airiness, good dose of a syrupy sweetness. It's very well-rounded. It touches on a lot of different aspects and a lot of different categories, which is what makes this one very versatile and appealing to a lot of people. Now, you can get this one on discounters for about the normal price of your typical 1 Million flanker, so it's not marked up or anything like that. Personally, though, I think this smells even more expensive than what it goes for already. It just has something very just refreshing about it, very gourmand, very sexy about it. You know, you take a look at brands like Parfums de Marly, who will put out a Layton, and that'll get a bunch of praise because, yeah, Layton is great, but that's kind of a sweet, warm, spicy, lavender-oriented, gourmand, you know, sweet fragrance, right? That was a complete jumbled mess of Layton, but you guys know what Layton smells like, right? I don't need to describe it to you. And this, while I'm not saying it smells anything like Layton, because it doesn't, kind of does a similar thing of just touching on a lot of different bases and giving you a great product that a lot of people can enjoy. And I think it smells much more expensive than what it goes for. Alrighty, let's roll into Prada Luna Rossa Black. Another one that does appear to be discontinued. It was confirmed by the brand. I've done a video on it, but now every now and then a comment will flood in saying that it's not discontinued and the brand confirmed that it isn't. So either someone in their marketing team and or customer service team severely messed up. Maybe they changed their mind. I don't know. At this point, I don't think any answer is right or wrong. It's just you don't know. Hasn't been in stock on discounters for a very long time. When it does come in, it's usually only in units of like 25. Like Fragrance By just got in some. It was 25 units and it sold out. That's not a lot, right? That is not a lot for an in-production fragrance typically. So we still don't know. The verdict is out. But what I will say is you can get it at retailers still. Could just be because they have a surplus of it still and they're able to get it. I don't know. What I will tell you is this smells gorgeous. It's all about the tonka bean. It's got tonka bean in here, which gives it just a very dusty and powdery smell. A little bit of a fresh kind of floral aspect as well, but ultimately this is a very luxurious, dusty, powdery, sweet, and kind of mysterious men's scent that is not your typical men's fragrance, right? And that's kind of part of the reason why maybe they would discontinue this one. But what I will say is if you want something unique, something that stands out, and something that smells very luxurious and expensive and kind of smells like royalty, you got to check out Luna Rossa Black while you still can. Next up, AZZARO The Most Wanted Parfum. Easily one of my favorite flankers to come out of the line. This and Wanted by Night. And even the Wanted Parfum, just some of the best ones you can get. That's kind of the trio. Black bottle, Most Wanted Parfum, which kind of looks like Wanted by Night, just kind of darker with a gunmetal finish. And then Wanted by Night itself. Those are the three that you need to get. Really, you could skip the other two, which is the original, and you can especially skip Tonic. That is just no good. I mean, they can't get rid of that stuff. Some discounters are selling it for like $26 or $30. That's crazy. People just don't want to buy it because it really isn't that good. But this is really impressive. It's got ginger, it's got bourbon vanilla and some woods in here. It's got a very nice opening, almost a fruity kind of sweet opening from how the ginger is coming across. Kind of a boozy sweet vanilla and a nice woody base, sandalwood, cedarwood and the like. Great for fall, great for winter time. A little bit gourmand leaning as well. Very sexy. And this is one of those instances where if I had to pay significantly more for this, and I'm talking double the price, I would do it. That sounds crazy. I'm probably the only one. Maybe that just makes me weird, but this is impressive stuff. If you haven't tried it yet, I encourage you to at least get a sample of it. Walk into a store and try it because it's really good. Big fan of this as well right here. Gentleman Eau de Parfum Boisee by Givenchy. Now I could have put in Reserve Privé. Great stuff. Could have even put in the EDP, but this one doesn't get as much love, and I do think that it should, because the way I kind of describe it is it's playing on the Eau de Parfum DNA. So you do have iris, you've got sandalwood, you have cacao. So you get a chocolatey sweet iris smell, but the sandalwood's very heavy here to kind of give it a little bit of a creamy aspect, which you don't get in the same type of way that you do from the others. So it almost makes it a little bit more fresh, a little bit more wearable on a day-to-day basis. You could wear this to work, to the office, to school, whatever. And you could wear either of the others, it doesn't matter. But I almost kind of view the Eau de Parfum and especially Reserve Privé as kind of evening, date night scents. And I kind of would look at this one as more of your day-to-day scent that you can jump around and wear while you're running errands and that sort of thing. I just think it's really well done and it smells very expensive, at least to me. I mean, it has this really unique kind of chocolatey dustiness about it and this creamy sweetness that, I don't know, it just does it in a different way, and I think that's really cool. Starting to run down to the end, Pure XS by PACO Rabanne, sugar, liqueur, myrrh, and vanilla, and a bunch of other notes, by the way. I can't even think of them, but it has a huge note breakdown. But really the ones I gave you there is what you need to know about. Very unique for what it is. I think this stuff doesn't really get as much love as it deserves either. Same with Pure XS Night. Both of those are really, really impressive for the price on discounters, for the uniqueness, especially from a brand like PACO Rabanne, which usually doesn't necessarily strive to be unique. That's not a bad thing at all, just kind of how it goes. But this here is really a twist on the DNA. and just in general on men's fragrances. That sugary, sweet booziness, smells very delicious, and it smells great for the holidays. Again, discounted price, usually I want to say $50 range, give or take a few in either direction depending on tester or full presentation and just the discounts going on. But I would pay double that, no problem at all. Okay, second to last, CERRUTI 1881 Signature. So I've kind of described this one as a leathery La Nuit de l'Homme. Okay, try saying that 3 times fast. So it's got leather, it's got black pepper, and cardamom. Now, it's not a La Nuit de l'Homme clone. It's not super similar to La Nuit de l'Homme. And no, just because something has cardamom doesn't mean it smells like La Nuit de l'Homme by default, right? Very aware of that. But it does have kind of that pepperiness that you get from La Nuit. It's got the nice kind of sweet, spicy cardamom note, of course, that you get from La Nuit de l'Homme. But the leather accord in here is so impressive. It is a realistic leather note that you get. And it's not like an ombre leather or anything like that. It's almost more of a Tuscan leather inspired leathery accord because it's a little bit animalic. It's kind of rough, it's textured, and it really is impressive when you can get this for about $36 for 100 ml on discounters. I would pay over $100 for this. I really would. I think the quality is incredible for the price and even beyond. I think the performance is solid. Smell is very unique for what it is, and all around it's just an impressive DNA that honestly is just kind of surprising that it's from this brand. I'm surprised this didn't get passed over to a bigger designer brand because I think this could have gone really far. Just this brand in particular doesn't have just the following to push it in the fragrance community, but it's really good. And last up, Bentley for Men, Eau de Toilette, rum, bay leaf, patchouli, a whole bunch of notes like that. Leather also. You know, I could have put this, could have put Bentley for Men Intense. Realistically, I could have put Bentley for Men Absolute. Really, just about any Bentley for Men could have been in this video. They're all supreme for the price. This one here is like $22, maybe $25 for 100 ml on discounters. If it came down to it, I would have no problem at all paying 100 plus for this. I wouldn't. Same with the Intense. This DNA is freaking awesome. I love how this smells. Now, I got to give my typical warning here. How are we doing on time? I'm not going to give my warning. I'll just say this because I'm running close on time here. Buy at your own discretion. There you go. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. 12 designer fragrances I think are worth double their price. These are very good and I encourage you to check these out if you're looking for something new. Links will be down below. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.